Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we have a very exciting unstuffing for you. So last week I did do a video where I cash stuffed my very big savings challenge. So go watch the video up there where I go through the process of me just cash stuffing the remaining envelopes, as well as a giveaway that ends on March 28th. So go ahead and check that out because I'll be giving away an Amazon gift card. So if you haven't done so already, the link will be up there. So for today, I will be cash unstuffing all of these envelopes, and it has taken me 2 years to do this. So I'm going to be very honest with you. I don't know how much I have stuffed because these are all kind of randomized numbers. I really didn't calculate anything when I was making these envelopes at all, nor did I really keep track of, like what the amounts are in these mystery envelopes as well. So we're gonna get right into it. So just to give you idea as to what we will be doing today, I have my post-it notes and my cinnamon roll pen here, as well as my divider thing, because we will be going through a lot of different types of denominations today, because I literally stuffed all kinds of denominations here, from 1,000 Korean wons to 50,000 Korean wons. That's the highest. And then these envelopes here are the unmarked ones, where they're kind of like mystery envelopes, and I will be doing these last. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So I think just to make things a little bit less messy and more organized, we're just gonna take some envelopes piece by piece, and then I'm gonna put those envelopes to the side while I unstuff it. I'll show you guys what I mean. But we're gonna start off with, I think I'll start off with the first batch. I'm just gonna take a handful, and I actually might need to speed through these just because it's gonna be very long and boring. So just to give you an idea as to what these denominations are, they're not consistent, because when I first started making these envelopes, I went with like every 2,000 Korean won. But then I started to realize how difficult it was, because I don't always come across singular bills. So I then moved on to denominations of 10,000. So 90,000, 100,000, 80,000, things like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and start to unstuff these. And then I will be recycling these. I will not be using the envelopes again, just because I think that I mentioned this in a few videos previously, where I hated these videos. These envelopes, because they took up a lot of space for me. And it was kind of like an eyesore in hindsight, right? And I think the reason why I started to created this, because I was really into cash stuffing in the past, and I started to see all these videos. I became low-key addicted. And so, it wasn't like Etsy would deliver all the way to South Korea without high shipping fees and all that stuff. So I was like, I'll just be really creative and go to the dollar store and make my own makeshift savings challenge, which is evidence that you can really make any savings challenge if you know how to finesse the materials and the resources that you have on hand. You don't need anything fancy and things like that. So I'm just going over all of this. Today is a Saturday, and it's honestly so nice outside. I think it's gonna be like 15 degrees Celsius today. I'm not sure, but I feel like I'm in such a good mood because I went to the gym this morning, had my coffee, and then we're gonna go to a buffet later on with a friend. And I've also booked my trip to Japan as well as Canada, but I'm more excited for Japan, if I'm being honest. These are all ones, because my partner hasn't been to Japan at all. He's one of the very few Koreans who hasn't been to Japan at all. So I'm really excited to take him. So we booked to the Cat Hotel early, and so we're going during what they call the Mid-Autumn Festival, or Chuseok, which is going to be mid-September. And that is when a lot of Korean families travel. So we were booking things in advance, and we actually wanted to book at this Cat Hotel that we often frequent. And they have really I just have one more in there. They have really great service so far. So what am I saying? Basically, we wanted to book there, and they were surprised that we wanted to book out so early, because we were booking with them. There is a bill in here. See, this is why I'm double checking my envelopes, because I know for sure I'll be missing some bills, and I'll be throwing them away. So we were booking with them in March, so this month basically, and they were like not going to take our reservation because they're like, okay, like they don't want us to book so early because plans might change and we might cancel, and of course that affects their business. But then we were like, no, we're gonna pay the full price now just to like show that we honor our reservations. And they were like, okay, that's fine then. All right, so these are all empty. So then we booked the cat hotel because things get booked out really quickly during that time. I'm taking another batch, and these are still within the 2,000 denominations. I'm gonna take this one out as well. So we booked that, and then we also just booked our hotel, and we're gonna be staying at the famous Godzilla Hotel in Shinjuku. And like I've heard like nothing but good things about that place. It's right in the middle of the area, of the touristy areas. Oh, these are all like new bills. Oh, I don't know if I told you guys before, but I hate folding new bills. I hate folding them, especially in those 100 envelope challenges where you have that book with the 4 slots in the side, and then you have to fold the bills to make them fit, and it irks me so much. But I digress. But yeah, so right now the currency has been really good between the Korean won to the Japanese yen. So I've been slowly exchanging my money. But because Japan just ended their deflation, or they just finally raised interest rates from 0% to 0.1%, I think the Japanese yen will be a little bit more expensive now. But I'm just talking. I'm just rambling right now. Oh, there's a lot of 1,000 Korean wons here. I'm not sure if you can see that, but I think I actually need to move these bills so then I have room for all the singular bills. But I'm wondering how you guys are doing. Thank you so much to those who have entered the giveaway and commented down below my videos. I really, really appreciate it. I'm planning to make another video soon in my other channel for a April reset. I realized that like I've had so many goals in January, February, because new year and you want to start off the year strong. But at that time my schedule was so different because everybody was on vacation. It was school break for the kids at school. So then what happened was like my time was a lot more free. But then now that I'm back at work and teaching again, what happens is like I didn't realize how much time that I don't have anymore for the goals that I set up for myself. Take another batch here. And so I really need to go back and reevaluate like what kind of habits that I want to stick to moving forward, and what kind of habits I have to revisit later on, just because I don't have time. As an example, like there you go, got everything. As an example, I would tell myself that I would stretch twice per day, and this is me trying to get the middle splits. And at first it was doable for the week that I told myself I would challenge myself and do that. But now, since I'm working again and back to my usual working schedule, it's not happening just because I just don't have the time. So I'm wondering if you guys have any advice on, or not really advice, but suggestions on any good habits that you think that I should take on, because I'm pretty active myself. Like I go to the gym when I can. I went today, and then I also, oh my god, that's a lot of bills. I went to the gym, and I also go to pole dance classes. I actually had a small injury last week. What happened was I was doing something called the scorpion, or the inner leg hang, and what happened was I actually ripped my skin and shed some blood. And because of that, like I have to reevaluate whether or not I want to go back to pole dancing. I still do exotic pole dance. It's the pole dance with the heels, which is fine because it doesn't really cause me as much injury as spinning pole does, which it makes me sad because I feel like I have wrapped my identity around like pole dancing or this one specific hobby, and I'm starting to realize that me kind of putting myself in a pigeonhole and me just defining who I am as a person based on the activities that I do is pretty harmful. You know how people sometimes they kind of like identify with their job. Like your job kind of defines who you are. Well, I think that's what happened with me and my hobby, because yeah, although I am a teacher, I don't allow it to define who I am as a person, but I allowed pole dancing to, because it's something that I really enjoyed and something that I was really passionate in. Wow, look at all these bills. I don't know how long this will take to cash unstuff of our first 50,000. Amazing. I don't even know if I have enough room, honestly. My goodness. I know that after this video, I'm going to have to like really wash my hands, because the bills are actually really grimy. All right, so another 50,000 for one. Oops, my tripod was in the way. I'm going to actually just move this up a little bit so you guys have more of a view of my envelopes. I also just bought tickets to visit Canada again for about 2 weeks. And I actually didn't want to stay for that long, because I remember the last time I was in Canada, it was during the winter time. It was crazy time. It's because it was so much snow, and I live in an area where, you know, like you can't get around unless you have a car. And I wasn't really down to pay for an Uber or anything, because as we know, Canada is just an expensive country. And I have a teacher salary, so I was trying to be as, you know, frugal as I could be, but let's just say like I didn't enjoy my time as much when I was back home, because I lived so far away from all the amenities. And you know, like it's not like Korea where I can just walk down the street or walk across the street and boom, there's a coffee shop everywhere I go. You really had to travel out of your way just for coffee. And yeah, I could make it on my own, but some days you just want to buy a cup of coffee. Is anybody else like that? Like some days like just screams, I need to treat myself to a cup of coffee, because I cannot today. Okay, going through these. We are like 1/3 done. Oops. All of these thousand bills, these single bills as I call them. There you go. Does anybody else have any travel plans for the future? I know that the American dollar is really high right now, so a lot of Americans I know are traveling, and I'm wondering where you guys heading off to, because I love to travel, but then ever since COVID happened and, you know, inflation and the costs of airplane tickets. By the way, I spent $3,000 Canadian on my flight ticket to Canada for the summer. Now, the only reason why it's so expensive is because I am flying with Korean Air, and all the other airlines I looked at, they had like strange layovers, and I didn't want to do a layover at all, especially through the US, just because I know that for some airlines, you are required to recheck in your bags, and I'm like, well, I really can't see that well. Like signs and stuff are fine, but then like I didn't want to be in the risk of getting lost, especially my flight is in, you know, an hour or two. The thing is, all the layovers, besides not just having to recheck in my bags again after I land in America for my layover, I would also need to rush after I deboard the plane. Basically all the layovers were like only an hour or 2 hours. I'm like, that's not enough time to account for any potential delays and all that stuff, right? And having to go through customs again. So I decided to opt out for the more expensive option, and that is a direct flight from Incheon to Toronto. And for the price that I'm paying, it sucks. It really does suck. But then I'm guessing that now that's kind of like the standard, because I was talking to other Canadians, and like the standard price for round trip direct to Canada from Korea is now around like 2,500. 2,500. So unfortunately, I'm paying a little bit more premium. And some airlines, I've noticed that they don't even really list all the options. Like I was on Asiana Airlines website, and like they don't really list much. Like they don't really list, you know, what kind of baggage allowance that you may have. So I was a little bit annoyed, and I'm not much of a risk taker, especially when it comes to flying, because I have so much bad experience with flying. One of them being like I almost got stuck at Pearson Airport in Toronto just because it was during COVID and they didn't allow you to fly if you were in certain countries or certain areas for the past 2 weeks. And I was in Korea during when COVID was a big deal, especially in Daegu. So I was almost stuck at the airport. Another one where I made a mistake on my visa. I put in the wrong expiration date. Almost got stuck at the airport. So again, I'm trying to be sensible and reasonable and have a comfortable flying experience. Plus, I also love the option of choosing my own seat because I get really fidgety and I have long legs. So that means that I need to have the aisle seat because if I don't have the aisle seat, I get really uncomfortable and really stuffy. But, you know, that's my advice. I will dish out money for an expensive flight ticket if I am able to be comfortable and be able to just have a seamless flying experience. But enough about me and my rant about flying. Does anybody have a favorite airline that they usually go with when it comes to traveling? For me, I always go with the Asian airlines because I find that they have really great quality. I avoid any type of American airlines. Like anything Canadian, Air Canada, avoid it like the plague. I also love EVA Airlines, which is a Taiwanese airline. Korean Air is actually really good as well. I've also flown Jeju, which is also the airline that we'll be flying to Japan with. Which, you know, is a whole other story on its own because I just had terrible customer service experience with them as well. But it is what it is. We are around halfway through this big savings challenge. And I can't believe you guys are still here watching. So I really do appreciate it. All right, so I'm just gonna do this one envelope, do these envelopes first, and then I'm gonna reevaluate like the space situation that we have on this divider because it's getting to be a lot. Let's see. Yeah, so we are going to go out today and treat out one of our friends because they were taking care of our cats while we were gone for the weekend because my parents were in town. And yeah, so we're just gonna go out to a sushi buffet with them. And my partner loves buffets. I think he just likes having various varieties of food. Okay, so this is all that I have unstuffed so far. I'm not going to throw them out because I'm going to double check to make sure there's no bills in this. I did do a check previously, but I'm not going to throw them out just yet. And to give you an idea as to how much we have left, this is how much. It's not bad progress. But I also need to make sure that there's enough space on this divider because I feel like there's gonna be not enough room for the 10,000 Korean ones, which is the green bills that we see here. Oh boy. So if anything, I'll just put some in the other sections then. All right, I'm gonna take out another chunk. Go. And I'm actually gonna just do a fast forward for you guys. Okay, I just checked all of the envelopes. Nothing's in there, so we're good. Now we're going to actually open these guys up. So I'm going to put this to the side a little bit just so that you can have a better view. And then I'm going to divide them up. I think, yeah, they should all have something inside. So these are really, really cute ones. This one says, thank you so much. And these ones are just the patterned sunflower envelopes. And I think I'm going to start off with these ones first. So the first envelope is 50. Oh, that's it, just 50. I'm sorry for the camera, just constantly being shaky just because I'm bumping into the tripod. This envelope is 53. I don't know what came about me to stuff 53,000 Korean won, but it is what it is. In this envelope, we have 50. So I put in a lot of high numbers in here, which, you know, I'm proud of myself. Now we are on to the sunflower envelopes, and these actually are really nice envelopes, like really thick, good quality. So I might reuse them again and not throw them out. This one has American money. Wait a minute. Okay. 50, 20, that's 70. I have 73, and they're like new bills. I'm gonna put them back in the envelope and not count this towards the cash stuffing. I'm actually so surprised. All right, so this would be put to the side. Okay, and then the last envelope. Hopefully it's just Korean currency this time. But yeah, so just 4,000 Korean won. Look at all of that. Okay, so you can see that the Korean bills, the higher the denomination is, the wider it is. So if I were to just even it out like this, you can see that the widths are completely different, which I found really interesting. I didn't think about that until like this year actually. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to start using our post-it notes and our pen to write out the denominations and how much is inside, and then we're going to calculate it together. So I might just speed this through again, but I know that some of you enjoy the ASMR, so we're going to do 1,000, and we're just gonna, you know, count how much are in each category. So for 1,000, how am I supposed to do this? I should have had what's it called, rubber bands available, but I don't. So instead of taking that all out, I'll just do it in chunks. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 50. 21, 22, 23. 40. 50. 100 in this pile. 38. 50. Take out the rest here. My fingers are actually getting so tired. 20. 37. So we have 187 in singular denominations. I'm just going to put some of these back here. And then I'm going to take out the 5s. which isn't a lot. Yeah. So 187. $48. And let's go ahead and calculate all of this exciting stuff. I haven't brought up my calculator in the longest time. So we know that this is 187. And then let's do 5 times 32 is equal to 160. 10 times 222. Oh my gosh, 2,220. And then 50 times 48 equal to 2,400. Wow, we have almost probably more than 5 million Korean won or 5,000 in here. So let me just go ahead and add these numbers up. So 187 plus 160 plus 2,220 plus 2,400 is this much. Oh, okay. So we have 4,967,000 Korean. I didn't do it in like I didn't add a bunch of zeros to the end of my calculations here just because I feel like it's going to confuse me. But we have 4,967,000 Korean won that we stuffed over the course of 2.5 years. That's amazing. I was hoping to be closer to 5 million Korean won, but we are very, very, very close. I feel like this is such an accomplishment. Now, the hard thing for me is deciding what to do with this money. I feel like I can use this to cash stuff the rest of my savings challenge, but I feel like that would be kind of cheating because I would want to do it the other way around, where my smaller savings challenge would go into this savings challenge. But because I'm finished this, I think I might just put it into a CD or a yearly term savings where I just put this money for a year and it gains interest that way. So exciting stuff. Thank you so much for watching me uncash stuff this. How many ways do I say cash unstuffing? I don't know. Anyways, thank you so much for watching me unstuff all of these envelopes. And we are finally finished with my big box savings challenge. I can finally do something else with this box and just not keep it on my desk forever. So thank you so much for supporting me. And thank you so much for everybody who has wished me happy birthday. Again, feel free to enter my giveaway. That will be linked in the comments down below or in my description box and up here as well. Thank you so much and stay tuned for my next video. Bye-bye.